Welcome to rounds 3 and 4 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series here at AA Kyalami. Graham Duxby, after the first 2 races, which were very exciting, we're hoping for the same again today.
Actually, I'm hoping for far better. The last time some of the drivers made a few mistakes. I think the Nissan team had a terrible start. They lost all 3 cars in the first heat. Today, however, the grid is closer than we've had it for many, many years. I think there's half a second covering the first 8 cars and a number of different manufacturers all sharing the top positions.
Now, in the first race of the last meeting here, we saw BMWs totally dominate. They're 2nd and 3rd today on the grid for race 3. Do you see them coming through again?
Well, yes, they don't have a lot of weight. I know it's a very contentious subject, but basically the people who have pole positions 2nd and 3rd have a certain weight penalty, but they score more points for those positions. So I think that Janelle will have a small problem because he's carrying more weight. People like Duncan or the people in 3rd and 4th place are the most likely to win, but I said most likely, not necessarily.
Nissan's had a disastrous time last time out here at Kyalami. Do you think they've got the reliability back again to be able to challenge? I know that Janelle de Villiers is top for both races today. Are the rest of the team going to be able to come through?
I believe so. I think that certainly the BMW with Sean particularly is going to be very, very quick. But I'd be surprised if at least one of the races today wasn't won by Nissan.
Well, there's the grid positions, Graham, for race 3 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series. Leading cars up to 8th place within a second.
A very, very close grid, which is exactly what we want, because that always gives us the opportunity of having one of them.
It's looking a lot better this time out. The car's really been going well all weekend, and it's been. I'm feeling strong, and I think we'll be good in the race. It's nice to start from the front row again. It just makes things a bit easier that you're not in all the riff-raff there at the back and trying to get through all the guys there. So it's a bit easier to start from the front, and I'm looking forward to the races. I think we'll put up a good show there.
Well, cars that did put on a good show last time with the new E46 Sassel BMWs.
And being second on the grid, yes, it's a very difficult position, because I think it must be the worst position on the grid on this circuit. But nevertheless, I think our cars are very competitive. I think we're really up to scratch with the Nissans, and it's going to be a real hard fight today.
Okay, right. Well, here we have Janelle de Villiers, 2nd in the championship at the moment, the champion leader from last year, obviously the winner from last year, in pole position, doing exactly what he is supposed to be doing. On his left-hand side, we have the BMW of Sean van der Linde. He is leading the championship at the present moment. They've got a new motor car, and certainly he's doing everything, and certainly a potential for winning today. 3rd place, we got Michael Briggs. That must be a good position for him, because certainly he has always been in the shadow of Sean, and in the last few races he's been closer and closer. Today, from 3rd place with less weight, we have a possibility of Michael winning this race. We'll have to wait and see. 4th place, Anthony Taylor. Now this is the one that really counts. Anthony is the youngest one. He's the person whose father is developing the motor cars, and he is head and shoulders above the other 2 drivers, Moss and Aberdeen, at the present moment.
Well, after an aborted first start, the cars are finishing their 2nd parade lap. There's Duncan Foss, winner of the last round of the series. Graham, there they go.
Yes, approaching the line now, the speed this time a lot lower than the last time, as we view it from the back. Going under there is the green light now.
Well, round 3 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series underway. Sean van der Linde and Janelle de Villiers neck and neck as they come into Pennzoil from the car of Sean van der Linde, it's all happening there.
Yeah, unfortunately Briggs and Anthony Taylor touched there. Anthony turned in, Briggs didn't give him enough space. No one to really blame there, racing it on the first heat. Unfortunately a disaster, because you just lose 2 cars.
Well, we see it from the car of Chris Aberdeen. In fact, this is Chris having his own accident. It looked like something went up in his car.
Yeah, unfortunately the fire extinguisher went off. He couldn't see where he was going, tried to turn left, thinking he was driving off the track. He drove straight into the arm car.
Well, the rest of the cars are carrying on through Nashua. It looks, I don't know whether this race is now going to be red flagged. We've got Sean Watson-Smith in the Petronas Opel. Well, it looks like his race is over.
Yes, I'm sure they must red flag this now. There's too many cars on the side of the road. Certainly they're not going to move that car in a hurry. If everybody else goes in, it's too dangerous.
What do you feel actually happened there, Graham?
There's Aberdeen, there's Aberdeen getting out of the car. That extinguisher is unbelievable. You can't breathe anything at all.
And the privateer George Besaidnout in his Nissan, well, he's stuck in the middle of the track. They've got to stop this race. Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, there's real amateur hour here. Those 2 touch, and then behind him there's another accident which took out another 3 or 4 cars.
And Michael Briggs goes farming.
Yeah, and as you said, there's the red flag now, so we have the 3rd start of round 3 after Bankfin Touring Car Championship.
As George Besaidnout, I think that's the fastest that car's going to go in round 3. Michael Briggs still stuck in the kitty litter. Well, on the parade lap, Anthony Taylor parks his engine Audi up at Westbank. Seems like he's not going to start this race, but the rest of the cars are starting the race. Round 3 gets underway, and again, it's the Sassel BMW of Sean van der Linde and the Nissan Primera of Janil de Villiers who takes them through Pennzoil.
Where's Sean van der Linde? I don't see him here at all. Oh, there he is on the outside. Yeah, tucking in very closely behind Janil, and then I guess it's Duncan Foss after that, and then Michael Briggs. No, Briggs can't be there.
Well, as you can see, as they come down the old straight ground, look at Marco dos Santos in that privateer Sentra. He's really up there, isn't he?
Indeed he is. I mean, he's going to pass, or trying to pass Duncan Foss in the Primera. Certainly when Marco gets one of those Primeras, he's got to be a race winner.
Van der Linde having a look down the right-hand side of de Villiers. De Villiers carries on, and there's a dice there between Moss and Joubert in the Patronus Open.
Yes, well, Sean Watson-Smith didn't start this race. There's only one open now. Right, we're watching that BMW again. Isn't it an absolutely beautiful motor car? I think BMW have outdone themselves this year with the E46, and I'm sure that Germany must be very proud of what they've done in South Africa.
Coming up to the top of the hill at Westbank, it's still Janil de Villiers in the Nissan Primera, followed by Sean van der Linde in the BMW and Duncan Foss in the other Nissan. The privateer Marco dos Santos still hanging in there.
And there's the other Opel and Nissan having a go between the two of each other. Well, certainly this is pretty close between Sean having a look at the inside. No, not at all. I thought he was going to.
Gives him a little push up the back, says, I'm here, Janil, I'm here. Look in your rearview mirror, and as they come up to the kink, Sean has another look down the outside.
Yeah, there's very little space to pass here, so he really has to just slot in behind and wait for the next corner. There you can see his front bumper's been damaged from that little bump.
Here's a view from Duncan Foss's car. He's looking at the battle between the two leaders as they come onto the home straight to complete lap number 1. And at the end of lap number 1, it is de Villiers in the Nissan, followed by van der Linde in the BMW, Duncan Foss in the second Nissan, and then that privateer, Graham, Marco dos Santos.
Followed by the Audi of Moss, and then Peters, and then the Opel.
On lap 2, we're looking at Duncan Foss following Janil de Villiers and Sean van der Linde. This BMW is quite a car, isn't it, really?
They built it locally. They've done a wonderful job. Now, we'll get back to the motor race here for a second. One of the interesting points is that Janil is carrying a little more weight than Sean and Duncan. Now, whether that weight is actually going to make any difference later on in the race, we're not sure. They get extra points for qualifying in the pole, but they carry a bit of weight to make sure that the motor racing is exciting. The question is, can the tyres last without going off slightly and allowing the BMW, or in fact Duncan Foss, to pass both of them to win this race?
As we go forward to lap 5, it is still Janil de Villiers coming in front of Sean van der Linde. Duncan Foss seems to be up there, but look at the front of Sean's car, with a bodywork damage there.
That's from the first lap incident. It won't have done him a great deal of harm at this point in time, but it hasn't come off, so aerodynamics haven't really been lost, and he's certainly all over the place, touching the inside of the curb there, but any one of these three can still win this race.
Well, Duncan Foss won round 2 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series. He's obviously looking at the back of van der Linde's car. How can I get past? I want those points as they come towards the Goodyear curve on lap 6. And
these cars are so equal. Janil went very wide.
A bit wide there, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I think maybe he just missed his turning in point, but it doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all because he hasn't lost anything in going to clubhouse. So they're still all together there at the present moment. They're so equal that to overtake is extremely difficult, even though the two Nissans are obviously front-wheel drive and the BMW in the middle is a rear-wheel drive motor car.
Well, we have got a BMW and a Nissan sandwich at the moment as they come through the S's going up the hill towards Westbank. Marco dos Santos still there, and that car is about 2 years old now, isn't it?
It is, and it's due for him to have a new one. You notice the BMW seems to be using a bit more of the track. I think he's a bit loose on the back. In other words, the back is oversteering and he's just using all the track, and it's slowing him down on some of the faster corners.
Well, they are in the fastest part of the track, and it looks like Foss going to have a go at van der Linde there, Graham. And
beautiful move past him there.
Oh,
Sean just drives into the back of him and breaks his front wheel. It had looked as if Duncan was responsible for that, but not at all.
Well, he's staying on the grass. It didn't look like an off, but he seems to be all over the place, doesn't he?
Yes, I think there's a problem with that right front wheel.
It just looked to me like there was just a nick on the bodywork, but it's left the three Nissans out in front. De Villiers, Foss, and Britain Mark Peters.
Yeah, there goes Sean back to the pits the short way over the kitty litter. That's his race run.
So there are the three Nissans. You just saw Mark Peters come in the back. De Villiers
And there goes Sean for his final tour into the pits. We're going to see lots of this. Well, Glyn Hall from Nissan and the Nissan Motorsport team must be absolutely over the moon about this. 1, 2, 3, and I'm not sure where, and there it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's the Sentra of Marco dos Santos in 4th place. An absolute clean sweep, and then the Audi, and then the Opel.
What is it about the Nissans this year, Graham, that makes them so good? Obviously, we've seen a couple of prangs there from the BMWs, but they are almost in a class of their own, aren't they?
Yes, I think that Glyn is a wonderful engineer, and I think he has a lot to do with what happens to the Nissan team in Europe, in fact. Oh, there goes Foss on the inside of Peters, and they're going to touch. Well, they have touched. Oh, my God, they're going to lose both the Nissans.
Well, Glyn Hall's not going to be very happy about that, is he? The two teammates knocking one another all about, and it's left Marco dos Santos to come through the 3rd place.
It has. So now you've still got 4 Nissans, but it's now changed with Duncan in 2nd, because Janelle by this stage is already gone.
Now, this is interesting. The 2 Pro cars here. This is a new series for 1999.
Yes, this is, in fact, it wasn't a championship race for them. It was just these 2 cars are ready. For the next round, East London, we'll have the full field of Pro cars, but this gives you an indication of what it is. It's another class within touring cars, an FIA-approved class, and it's something that's going to become very strong in South Africa.
Well, they seem to be having their own sort of ding-dong battle up at Westbank as we go back to the leaders. The last lap, there's Janelle de Villiers. Seems to be a bit
now
of
in
a
2nd
break,
place,
Graham.
in fact, we no longer have Duncan Foss, who has a mechanical problem. Marco dos Santos
The
is
privateer
now in 2nd.
Sentra is going. They are going to be so pleased if he gets to the checkered flag.
And there's Terry Moss now in 3rd, with Mark Peters in 4th, and then, who's that? Sean Watson? No,
That's
Joubert.
Dion Joubert. Now,
Behind that.
Mark Peters has dropped off the pace dramatically, hasn't
Well,
he?
the truth of the matter is he went past and they showed him or he thought he saw the checkered flag and thought the race was finished and let everybody else through. So that's how he ended up falling back from, what was he, in 3rd place down to wherever he is now.
Well, Terry Moss must be a very happy man at the moment. He's in 3rd place. He didn't expect to be in 3rd place. Mark Peters was the man. Here is the leader, Janelle de Villiers, coming up to Westbank for the last time. Marco dos Santos in that privateer Middelburg Nissan Sentra. He's going to be a very happy man, and in fact, he did come in 2nd place.
And Dion Joubert took 3rd because the other 2 of Peters and Moss touched each other and went off the Yokohama camp.
Janelle, exciting race. You must be quite happy. It's hot out there, isn't it?
I must tell you, yeah, it's bloody hot out there in the cars, and the delayed start didn't help the heat, so it's got a bit hotter, but it was a good race for us. I managed to just keep ahead of Sean there on the start through the first 2 corners, which I was very happy about. And once we were in front, I knew that it would be difficult for him to pass us.
Melinda and Janelle de Villiers, who have changed places from round 3.
But don't forget, Janelle is in fact starting from the pit road. So it's Anthony Taylor and Sean van der Linde, one behind the other, and Marco dos Santos.
Once again, that man who surprises me so much, Marco dos Santos in the privateer Nissan Sentra. They are revving up for race number 4, and away they go, and there already is mayhem.
Again, Briggs tried to take a gap that wasn't exactly there, and Marco dos Santos, who always seems to be in the middle of these things. If there's going to be trouble, he's involved with it, and Anthony Taylor in the other Audi. So that's 2 of both the front and the 2nd row is out of the race already.
Well, it seems this time that George Besaidnote, the other privateer, has got away. Well, Marco dos Santos with a very bent car. Do you think that's going to get back to the pits for a bit of duct tape put on it? But as the leaders come down the Nashua Straight for the first time, it's Sean van der Linde and that Sassel BMW, followed by the Nissan of
Duncan Foss, and then Mark Peters in the other Nissan.
We're seeing our first Opel up there. There's Byron Buerta and Anthony Taylor. He isn't going to get very far at Kyalami today, is he, Graham?
He got the first corner the first time, didn't even make the first corner the 2nd time. But the BMW leading now, this is going to be difficult for Duncan to pass him, because certainly Sean is a first-class driver, and that car's not carrying 50 kilos. It's only got 35 kilos extra weight. So to pass that BMW is not going to be easy.
Michael Briggs, at least this time, has completed the first half of the first lap as we look at the back of Sean van der Linde's car from Duncan Foss's Nissan as they charge down the mine shaft for the first time.
So it's 1 BMW, 2 Nissans, and the other BMW. It's a pity that Audi's not there. I'd love to see what Anthony Taylor could have done here.
Always a nice crowd that sits at the Vodacom Bowl to give these cars a bit of support as they come in.
It's the most cheerful crowd anywhere in the country.
The red car, the red Nissan Sentra there, that's Byron Buerta, as Dion Joubert charges down the inside of George Besaidnote.
Yeah, and you just saw a picture ahead of them of Janelle de Villiers, who has started from the pit road. There he is going into the back as he tries to make his way through the field and catch these leaders.
Well, Mike Briggs looks at the back of Mark Peters as he follows them across the line to finish lap number 1 of round 4 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series as they charge into Penzor Corner for the second time. It's still van der Linde, Vos.
And remember, there's a great deal of rivalry between Peters and Briggs. They used to be teammates last year, and certainly Briggs will want to do everything he possibly can to pass Peters and prove that the results of last year were correct.
Well, he's certainly having a go as they charge down the Nashua Straight. It's still van der Linde in the BMW. The two Nissans of Duncan Vos and Mark Peters, the Englishman, and then Mike Briggs. There's the next group, which is the Audi of Chris Aberdeen and the Opel, that's Sean Watson-Smith.
Yes, he's got back into this race, thank goodness for them, and they're having a good race there. Aberdeen was very happy with his car, so Sean can be quite happy. Oh, he makes a little mistake there, going a bit wide. It was more like a slide from a rear-wheel drive than a front-wheel drive car, giving Janelle the opportunity of closing up on that Opel.
Well, they're into lap 4 coming down the mine shaft, and this is the fastest part. They get up to about 230 kilometres an hour, no brakes, charge into the Vodacom Bowl, and it looks like somebody's he's on the grass. He's knocked Sean right around as Duncan
didn't have much option, because as Sean moved across, Duncan didn't really have anywhere to go.
And
he
of course
started to make the move on the inside when there was space, and Sean just closed the door and paid the price for it, unfortunately.
And once you get on the grass, even if you hit the brakes, nothing's going to happen. And there's more bumping between Mike Briggs and Mark Peters. These are the leaders. Graham is turning into more of a stock car race.
It is indeed.
Well,
certainly Peters is not giving Michael any space at all. Bit naughty of that. That's not a safe thing to be doing. Anyway, he keeps the lead. As I said, these are the two teammates from last year. I've never seen Peters drive with this aggression as he's driving today. Briggs in second place, and I guess in third place must be that's Duncan.
Well, let's have a look at the prang between Vos and van der Linde. Just a gentle little nudge, and around he goes. There's Sean's in-car, and he is not a happy camper, is he?
No, he's not, but he should have given him more space.
Well, Sean actually gets into gear and he's back in the race, and let's go back to the leaders.
Yes, so now we've got Peters leading, then Briggs in the BMW obviously second, and then Duncan Vos in the other Nissan third, and Janelle de Villiers in fourth.
As they come up to the top of the hill, two Nissans and a BMW, and it's Vos having a go on the outside of Mike Briggs. Briggs keeps his position. He's going to have a charge down the hill. Here's the in-camera from Duncan Vos as they charge down the hill. They're together. Look at that, Graham.
Yeah, and with no difficulty whatsoever. Briggs didn't crowd him and almost didn't fight back. It's almost as if there's something wrong with Michael's car. Possibly the tyres have gone off a little bit, but he certainly seems to be losing. Look where Mark Peters is already.
Well, he's having another go, coming up to the Yokohama kink.
Yes,
let's see if he gets
through
there.
Oh, touches the tyres.
Hit the tyres. Around goes Mike Briggs for his second off of the day, as his teammate Sean van der Linde goes past him.
Not a good day for Michael.
There we go. Slowly gets away, and it's the three BP Nissans as they come up to pass a back marker.
Well, now, of course, the issue is are there going to be any team orders or not? When you've got three cars, all sponsored by the same people, all working for the same person, what are they going to do? There's 1, 2, 3, so it's Mark Peters leading the race. This is the Englishman who 2 years ago won the Ferrari 355 Challenge in Europe. Then there's Duncan Vos and Janelle de Villiers, and Glenn Hall is going to be sitting there and wondering if anyone is going to try and overtake the other one and possibly touch each other. Sure, he doesn't want to watch that. There's van der Linde getting past the Audi. That's not very difficult for him. That BMW at this point is a little quicker, so that is an easy one.
As the Nissan train goes up the hill, we see the BMW of Sean van der Linde and the Audi of Chris Aberdeen dicing it out for 5th place, or 4th place, I should say. Well, there they come down the hill again. This is 1 lap from the end. Sean Watson-Smith and Mike Briggs having a go at each other near the back of the field. Still racing, Graham.
And they're still touching each other. They nearly went off getting.
And there's Marco De Santos coming through again. After that first lap incident, he's obviously had a new front put on the car, and he's back in the race.
Yes, this is Briggs here, in fact. And certainly he's not having a day he wants to remember at all.
Well, Marco De Santos expects a new Nissan Primera for the next race as we look at Michael Briggs chasing De Santos in the round 4 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series as they start their last lap.
good reliability from the two Opals there of Dion Joubert and Sean Watson-Smith. They want to get as much racing miles as possible. They've been out of touring cars for a while. This is their first year back again now, so it's their third race. They've got a lot to learn. The longer they can stay on the track, the better it's going to go.
Second place, Duncan Foss looks at the back of, and there's more bumping and bashing. Marco Dos Santos and Mike Briggs have another go at each other as Dion Joubert comes in.
And tries to get through on the inside.
No, that's in fact Sean Watson-Smith. Yes, who Marco's bodywork rubbing, the smoke coming out of the tyres as they charge down the hill once again. It's Watson-Smith, Dos Santos on the left-hand side. Mike Briggs right behind them. They're doing 230 k's an hour as they come into the Vodacom Bowl, and they're all over the place.
That looks like a recipe for an accident.
Yes.
But oh, there's Marco pushing Sean and allowing Briggs to get through on the inside.
Checkered flag after 12 laps, and it's a 1-2-3 for Nissan. Mark Peters wins his first race in the Bankfin Touring Car Series. And he'll be a happy man as he boards the plane at Joburg International to fly back to the UK tonight.
We've been fast here last time we raced here, and it's good to race with a nice team where everybody works in unison. So once we're in 1-2-3, they hung out the board to make sure nobody overtook me, so it was quite simple for me. And the race sort of fell into my hands because there's always a lot of bumping and barging on the first lap, and if you try and stay out of that, you gain places. So I'm very happy.
Nissan manager Glenn Hall lifts the Manufacturers' Cup for the day. Join us again for rounds 5 and 6